Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to the channel Dr. Juan T channel. I am going to be your host and my name is Dr. Joanna Tala. I am an American College of Lifestyle Medicine board certified lifestyle medicine practitioner, and I am a certified health and wellness coach. I am happy to be your host of this channel, and our overarching topic for the entire videos we are going to be releasing will be called Health and Wellness Made Joyful. Health and Wellness Made Joyful, guys. Health, I'm going to define briefly as a state in which we are free of disease, okay? Free of symptomatic disease. Wellness is that active portion of our behaviors striving to get to our optimal health. There is a spectrum in wellness and it's very dynamic. Extreme left negative, if you will, where we are sick and very close to death. We don't want to do that. Here is health and wellness being made joyful. And the extreme right or positive is our optimal health. So you can see how dynamic that can be. Most of us are going to be sitting around the middle, normal, where you have no disease or symptomatic disease, and disease would be mind and body, okay? Our mind, free of disease, not symptomatic. But at this middle ground, you could have a day where you don't feel so good, you're down, okay? That shifts you a little bit to the left. What do? You strive to move towards the right, optimal health. You do something and you return to that normal state. Okay, some days you're going to feel really elated and happy, right? We usually have that when we have birthdays or Valentine's days and people wish us well and people congratulate us and just appreciate who we are. That elates us, that gives us this happy feeling, and that also brings some type of joy and wellness in our body. We're striving towards our optimal health. So anybody who knows these situations, and everyone should know, that you cannot forget some certain little ills and ailments that you have, maybe pains here or there. You forget it when you're being celebrated as such. So that takes you a little closer to your optimal health. You do then, of course, a couple of hours or a day or two later, nobody's saying all these good things and you return to normal, right? You shift back to feeling your pain or whatever little ailments you feel in the body. So in general, wellness is very dynamic. It moves and is that striving to get to optimal health. As simple as that. So that's what we're looking at, guys. As a lifestyle medicine practitioner, what I do, named healthy lifestyle consultant and coach. So what I do is use lifestyle behavioral factors to assist people gain health, maintain their health and wellness, strive to prevent disease, reverse disease, or stay healthy where they are. Okay, if they choose to, they are in a comfortable place towards their health, their optimal health, then we want to let them be there at least, or move the needle a little bit towards optimal health. So we use these factors. We use nutrition counseling. We use physical activity counseling and consulting people, counseling them, and then most importantly, we coach individuals to be able to adopt these little better behaviors, which leads to a healthy outcome. Okay, so the focus on our channel will be about many different disease states, how to prevent that or reverse it when it has lifestyle related components. And we're talking here mostly about chronic types of diseases that starts slowly and then infest our body, and we just have trouble getting out of that. How do we prevent it? A lot of chronic diseases are lifestyle related, and they can be prevented or they can be reversed. Now we're talking about examples of this. Okay, weight issues, all right, that can be reversed. Now, type 2 diabetes, that can be reversed. Type 2 diabetes can be reversed by making healthy lifestyle choices. So we're going to discuss a lot of diseases, and even diseases that are not lifestyle causality. They are not caused primarily by some lifestyle behavior, but lifestyle behaviors intensify the disease, worsen the disease state. We are going to also discuss these diseases and talk about what can be done to improve on that disease, even while on medication or on certain other types of treatment. So here, we're going to be discussing all of these different diseases, topics, ways we can improve our health behaviors in order to maintain or achieve or move the needle towards that optimal health. Okay, so we will kick it off with our focus of today. Absolutely joyful. I have a little story that I'm willing to share, and I'm going to share this right after I tell you what the channel is going to look like. Okay, we're going to have our weekly videos, first recorded videos initially. After a couple of months, hopefully, we have a good amount of people and we can begin to do live, all right? We can begin to talk about a certain subject. We are going to talk about diseases, what we can do in terms of our lifestyle. How can we behave? What is our lifestyle going to look like in order to improve that disease or to even reverse it? You would find out that there are some chronic diseases that can be reversed. Then number 2, we are going to be we're looking at many different diseases. Every single episode or video will focus on a specific diseases. Now I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, for example, hypertension, overweight. We'll pick every subject and we will talk about it in details. Everything lifestyle, what we can do in our lives to improve this disease or to even reverse it or to not get it at all, so prevent it from occurring. You are going to be blown away. You are going to be blown away. At this point, let me just hold back or take a step back and say that this is not going to be a channel, or during these videos we are not going to be diagnosing diseases or treating any diseases per se. If you have a certain disease, please, we are not replacing your doctor. See your doctor or find a health professional. That being said, we're going to look into everything behavior. What can we do to improve it? And folks, you're going to find out that there is a lot you can do. There is so much you can do, and you're going to be joyful, just like I was when I found out about things that I could do to prevent certain terrible diseases from occurring. I will tell you my story in a moment. So we will have those weekly sessions. Our videos will run anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, I hope. When we go live, we're going to do 30 to 45 minutes, and then we're going to open up for questions and answers. Now, there is something that's going to be unique about our channel. We're not only going to be talking about health and wellness, everything we need to do, or we can do, which we can. We are empowered. We are going to be empowered. We're going to find out, just made aware of the things that we can do and how much we can do to prevent disease and not to even get diseases. I'm already excited, folks. I'm very excited about this. What we are going to be unique and known about is going to be this. We will address a lot of different diseases, a lot of conditions, healthy behaviors, things we can do. Almost all of it is going to be based on literature is going to be evidence-based, things that have been studied and we found out that it works. Okay, most of it. Some things we're going to delve into different cultures. This is going to be the uniqueness of our channel. We're going to pick Africa. What part? Some parts Africa is majestic and huge. Different cultures. We're going to pick different areas in Africa and talk about those healthy things they do that keep them healthy or that prevent diseases. We're going to talk about Asia. We'll pick countries in Asia and things that they do to make them stay healthy. We're going to pick Europe. Talk about things that are done in Europe that keep people healthy. We are located in the United States of America, in California. We are going to talk about things around us in California, in the United States, what we can do to keep ourselves healthy, prevent disease, and even reverse disease, guys. So that's going to be the uniqueness about our channel. We're going to bring in different cultures, what they do, and how they prevent disease or even reverse disease. Most all based on proper literature. Okay, that being said, we are going to also have every now and then, depending on the topic in question, we're going to bring in experts in the field, people that have studied, they've studied and they've applied the techniques or the behaviors and they've seen improvement. We're going to bring people who know about those topics that can share with us, guys. I want to stop here again and remind everybody that this channel is about bringing joy in your life. The joy of knowing that the power lies within us to make our journey towards wellness, towards health. We have all it takes, most all of it takes to make ourselves healthy. All right, so let's begin. I want to start today's video with a little story, background story about why I chose to do what I am doing today, to practice in this way. I have a little business practice where I do health and wellness coaching, and I use lifestyle medicine in order to assist people, even reverse diseases, sometimes prevent diseases, things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, things like this, diseases like this. Why did I choose to get into this field is the topic of my little background story. And there you will find out why I think, health and wellness made joyful is absolutely appropriate. This has been my vision. This is what I think I should share with the world. This is what I think you should also share with your friends and family, so that together we'll build a healthier, wealthier world. Okay, so here's my story, guys. I went to medical school in St. George's School of Medicine. After graduation, and after taking my boards, I took a pause. I have children. I have 3 boys, by the way. I have children who were getting into high school, the upper levels of high school, and I thought I had been away from medical school. Let me concentrate on assisting them find their way in life as well. So I decided to stay locally in Connecticut, where we lived at the time, and I did clinical research at Yale University as well as Yale New Haven Hospital in Connecticut. I was at the pediatric ICU and did fantastic research. I enjoyed the time I spent there. During this period, catastrophe happened in my family, guys. Beautiful, close family relatives, close friends, near and dear to my heart. Some of them got catastrophic diseases and some of them passed to the other life. This was very, very, very shocking to me. It was shocking to me, and I told myself, yeah, I'm a budding MD, I'm a budding doctor, I should be able to help. This has always been my intention. In my own family, people close and dearest to me are getting terrible diseases. Or a few of them have just had some things that I tell myself there should be something we can do about it. Okay, I began the journey by talking to a few friends. I was very worried. In fact, I was so worried because I thought, oh my goodness, is this possible to happen to me? And for all the knowledge we've had in medical school, and I should remind you guys that medical school and medical degree is long, very long studying, many years of studying, okay? So you would think we've covered, we've handled what causes diseases, what causes most diseases, or I'm talking here about the deadly types of diseases and how we know for certain some of them, but we don't know all. We certainly don't know how to prevent a lot of these things from happening. Okay, yes, I'm talking here cancers, Alzheimer's disease, I'm talking here heart diseases, things like that, strokes. We know some of these things, right? I, at that point, knew some of the things we needed to do to prevent cancers. For example, I'm talking here about colorectal cancer. Okay, we knew and we studied about this. We learned that, if you avoided eating over processed foods and you threw in a lot of fibers, your chances of having cancer, colorectal cancers would be almost zero. Okay, that we knew. Yes, and I'm thankful and grateful we learned and studied that in school. Okay, second, we learned about lung cancers. If you avoid smoking, smokers have a high risk of developing lung cancers. Okay. Alcohol as well, excess alcohol intake can lead to certain other types of cancers. Yes, I had learned about this, I knew about it. But these are not the things that happen to my dear loved ones and friends. First of all, my friends were not smokers. Second of all, they ate huge amount of fibers. All right, so they ate huge amount of fibers. They were not excessive drinkers, so you couldn't say alcohol was the cause of their ailments. So what then is the cause and how can we prevent it? This was the question I had for myself. So I was talking to everyone who could listen to me. What can we do? All the doctors I saw, brilliant doctors at Yale. I talked to every kind of colleague I could talk to. People went, okay, we don't know. Some people said, oh, genetics, some genetics, okay. There is some genetic impact. There's a certain type of susceptibility when certain genes can cause or be the reason why some people get certain cancers. Okay, that's true. But I knew that it wasn't genetics. It was not genetics that was really the cause of what my friends and family got. Okay, if I look back a few generations in my family, I saw that the people lived longer, free of such ailments. They did not have these types of cancers. So there is something, and I knew intuitively that there is something out there that can be done. So I went off, I talked to others, talked to friends, many people. Then I had this wonderful, beautiful soul at Yale, complained to him, grumbled, and he said, okay, listen, I don't know for sure. Certain people might be susceptible, but we don't know for sure why they do get certain cancers. Aside from these things that we've all mentioned, alcohol, cigarette smoking, and a lack of fibers in the diet, causing those specific types of cancers. Aside from those, I don't know why people can get, for example, leukemia. I don't know. And how can we prevent that? Aside from doing these things that I've just previously talked about. But if anybody should know about it, Joanne, it should be the preventive medicine guys, don't you think? I'm like, silly me. Do you know what? I have never thought of preventive medicine in that light. To me, and to most of us actually, my colleagues growing and getting out of school at the time, preventive medicine was government policy, was public was public health, okay, population health, okay, very useful things. What can we do about certain things, certain prevalence of certain diseases occurring in certain areas? How can we improve on those lives? Environmental things which are absolutely relevant and do also contribute to diseases. But that's not what I was looking for. what is it that has caused in my close environment this kind of deadly diseases to occur? So I told myself, okay, I don't know if they have the answers, but if anybody should know, they definitely should know. I'm heading to the conference 2018. I went to their conference in Chicago. Yes, the conference was beautiful. It was everything I thought it would be. A lot of government, a lot of policy makers, a lot of that, environmental people as well. Longevity. We are kicking this off with today's topic, which is longevity. Now, you have heard my little story about how I got excited about knowing what to do to prevent certain types of diseases that I felt trepidations about, worrying myself to almost illness about potentially getting some of these diseases myself. So I went through this journey and I got to know lifestyle medicine, and here we are today. The rest is history. I joined and now I am extremely happy to bring that awareness to everyone, to share these wonderful messages. Okay? So longevity. The question is, what is our maximum age? Okay? All right? Some people will say 100, some people will say 90, 80. People have different ideas. Okay. What do we need to do? Or, put differently, is there something or things, behaviors we can all adopt in order to live right up to that maximum age, disease-free, at least chronic, debilitating, disease-free, where we can be as active as possible and enjoy life and live and move and interact as we are always supposed to be? Is there a formula? Is there certain behaviors that can assist us in achieving this optimal health? Folks, we know that all of us know that there are some people that tend to live all the way to their hundreds, beyond their hundreds, very active, free of debilitating diseases that keep them from being able to do certain parts of, take care of their daily living, okay? Yeah. They live this long, they are able to be active, they interact, they are socially involved until close to their death, and they pass away very peacefully. We know, every one of us must know somebody at least that has lived this long. And then we see areas in the world where people tend to live longer. They live right up to this age of 100 or whatever we think that maximum human age can be, and they tend to be very active, they tend to not have many diseases, and they are very, very involved in daily life. Now the question is this for particular people? Do some of us think that it's due to their genes? Okay, some people think it's genetics. But there is a study, folks. There is literature on this, and I am so excited to tell you that there might be a formula. In fact, there are lifestyle behaviors that we know that when we follow this, when we follow or maintain these types of health behaviors, we are definitely going to approach that optimal health. We are definitely going to approach our maximum age, and we're going to pass away quietly and peacefully. Let me introduce you to this brilliant study. I mean, everything we'll be talking about would be mostly, research science based, all right? It would be evidence-based because people have studied these topics separately, different things at different moments. But I want to introduce you to this groundbreaking study, which I think, and to me, brings the light and focus to that formula for longevity. And that's what it was. These folks, I will give that credit to Dan Buettner and his Blue Zones team. Many of you might have heard about Blue Zones. Blue zones he defined as those parts of the world, pockets of populations, where the folks there live right up to their hundreds or close to their hundreds and beyond, while being debilitating disease free. They might have aches and pains, but they didn't have serious diseases, and they were able to be involved in their daily living activities, take care of themselves, walk things here, walk a dog, go to their farms, whatever the case may be. They were very active. So he termed these areas the blue zones. The journalist was Dan Buettner of Natural Geographic. He was a fellow. I love Natural Geographic, and maybe most of you have watched a program or two on Natural Geographic. I love nature, so I watched that show quite a bit. But in his activities, in his function as Natural Geographic fellow, he went around the world and discovered and realized that there were pockets of areas in populations where people tend to live centenarian. They lived up to their hundreds, or close to their hundreds, or beyond their hundreds, and they were very, very active, and they were very, very lively and free of really very serious diseases. And so they asked the question, is there a formula for longevity? Are there behaviors or factors that can be widespread in the human population, that people can adopt, that everyone can adopt and become or live right up to this optimal age and stay well? Yes. So they put together a study, and they went and they put together a team of scientists, doctors, what have you, analysts, and they went and studied these areas that they termed the blue zones. What they did was sit with these folks, talked with them for some time, asked them about their behaviors, watch them do their activities, watch them and see how they were actually interacting with folks, and their health behaviors, their general behaviors. They came back from these different areas, and it was pockets of people all over the world, okay, in many places of the world, not everywhere, but in many places, different continents of the world. There is Loma Linda here in Southern California. There is Sardinia in Italy, Europe. There is Costa Rica in the Latin Americas. So, and also in Japan, they had a place in Japan that they selected where there were a lot of centenarians. So when they crunched the data, they came back, crunched the data, they found that there were commonalities, all right? So they accounted for cultural differences and all those different things. They crunched their data and found that there were commonalities. Now, we in lifestyle medicine name these the pillars of lifestyle medicine, the pillars of health. Behaviors that are going to ensure us to get as close to our optimal age and as close to our optimal health, wellness as possible, or optimal health as possible. What are those factors that are termed the pillars of lifestyle medicine? I guess you guessed rightly. Nutrition is one. Yeah, healthy nutrition. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to talk a lot about nutrition. Yes, nutrition contributes a whole lot. Okay, and I guess you know. Movement, physical activity. These folks were very active, all right, all over all these areas that they looked at, 5 different regions around the world where they have a lot of the most centenarians who were quite active and living a healthy and interactive life. They moved a lot. Well, maybe not a programmed exercise, but they did move around a lot, rode their bicycles to town center, did what they needed to do. Some did manual labor, some did farming. They were very active. Okay, physical activity seems to be common to all these areas. They were all very active. Now, next, they always enjoyed a lot of sleep. So they had, it laid between, 6 and 8 hours of good sleep, restful sleep, they call it. They had restful sleep. Then they had positive social connectedness, meaning they had good neighbors. They get out and say, hello, how are you today? Things like that. They checked on their neighbors. They went to this town square every weekly or monthly. They enjoyed company together. They had positive relationships. Some of them had multi-generations within their family living together, grandparents taking care of grandkids, whatever the case. But those that did not have were also very positively involved socially with their neighbors, with friends. They had good friends. They sat around in the town square every once a month for some communal or activity of some sort. This was common in all these areas. So good, positive social connectedness. I want to stress on positive. On positive. It shouldn't be causing stress of no type. It should create laughter and joy and no worries. You got to be yourself with these relationships. Okay, moving along. They did enjoy a glass or two of wine a day or a week, but they never did it too much. So harmful substances were avoided. There were some areas that people did drink a little bit of wine, but not too much. Very little, but enjoyed it in good company, right? So preventing the use of harmful substances was important. And then, of course, the last but not the least, mindfulness and meditation. Now, everywhere they went, these areas that were studied, they recognized that the people who did not really have a specified religion, did have some time that they spent, focusing on that present moment. Quiet kind of time where you sit back and reflect on certain things. Okay, you put your mind and focus on one single subject or one thought at a time. And you remove judgment from it and just examine that thought. They had time, all of them, where they sat quietly and either are mindful or meditating. Now, when we're talking about religious people, for example, do prayers as meditation. All their focus is on that supreme being at the time and what is needed. So their focus is on that. Okay, so calming the mind and recognizing that there is some beauty in life and that some things have to be observed. This had a very, very interesting inclusion in this total longevity. It was very important they discovered that people have some time to at least cool down the brain, at least calm themselves down and focus on very little and reflect. Being aware of their present moment without really judging it. That would be your mindfulness. Okay, so there you go. We pick these major behaviors because multiple studies looking at each one of these behaviors in different types of setting. I mean, research has been done everywhere, and you all know about nutrition and the lots and tons of nutrition studies that are out there. Physical activity the same, where we have here in the US, for example, and even in the country where I was born, Cameroon, we have wonderful athletes, and we all know that these athletes have to do certain types of things in order to maintain their optimal physical health. Okay, so athletes are one of the best healthy group of people in terms of while they are doing their while they are within their athletic divisions, or they are playing for some team or whatever this organized sport can be. Okay, so we all know there are lots of studies. So people studied this in order to maximize the health of the athlete, or the capacity of the human body to do what it needs to do for that sport. Okay, there's activity. Physical activity is well known that it contributes massively to our health. And now we will discuss intensely how that contributes. Yes, people think mostly of physical activity as weight loss. Yep, it helps. It helps to burn off some calories, but it's not just weight loss. We're going to talk about this. You're going to be happy you tuned into this channel. Folks, subscribe please. Share far and wide. The intention, as I mentioned before, is to transition from these recorded videos to live videos. We want to have a certain number of subscribers, so we are sure people are there to ask questions and we can respond, and we can be really interactive. People can even try stuff, try some behaviors, and then come back to us and ask questions, and together we're going to share this beautiful awareness. Keep away from diseases, be joyful, and live to as close as possible to our optimal health, or be at our optimal health. So longevity, folks, has a formula. There are things that can be done. These things are modifiable. Whatever we don't do today, we can still do. And guys, the beauty is that there is no age limit to this. Any age, we can start healthy behaviors at any age, and it begins to manifest in the body. It begins to reverse, prevent, and do all types of magical, healthy, happy things to our body. We're going to be fascinated here, guys. So that is it for today. Longevity has a formula. We can all achieve it. It is common to all humans, and we are going to get there. Thank you.